Hey guys, this is Cosmic. I just wanted to bring a video guide on the Raekor Harpoon Barbarian. I do believe this is going to be the strongest solo build in Season 35. I did predict this before the season started. It's just a little bit more ahead of the other classes than I had anticipated. So I just figured I'd make a quick guide for you guys in case you're curious of how this build works. So I had made a guide about this in the past. It is your standard Raekor build, same stat priorities in general, except for we're prioritizing area damage a little bit more than normal. So I try to pick up area damage wherever we can. We want ancient spear damage on the helm and the boots. It's much easier to make crimson boots. Typically, I am using the Raekor boots because I got a primal. I would suggest that you craft the crimson boots so that you can get all resistance instead of armor. Otherwise, the stat priorities are very typical. Elemental crit on the neck, elemental crit chance, strength, and vitality or all res here. There are a lot of stats you can have in the compass rose. Cooldown, crit damage, crit chance, flat damage are all acceptable stats. Any combination of 3 damage stats is going to be fine. You could opt for resource cost reduction if you're feeling kind of squishy. I do have resource cost reduction on this because it's the best spear that I rolled. Otherwise, we're kind of prioritizing area damage wherever we can get it. Obviously, if I could have area damage here, I would. If I could have area damage here, I would. Try to roll cooldown wherever you can as well. But just bear in mind that we have Messerschmitt's Reaver and the cube for resets, so cooldown, we're allowed to kind of get away with less cooldown here. The cube is really simple, it's just the Reaver for resetting Wrath of Berserker. You can opt to run Ignore Pain instead of Call the Ancients. This was suggested by Rage. We've been speaking about this build and just kind of talking about ways to optimize it for this particular season. This Call the Ancients instead of Ignore Pain gives a guaranteed 20 seconds of double toughness rather than dropping off after, like, I believe it's 8 or 9 seconds. With the, I think it's actually 7 seconds. Ignore Pain, so it's normally 5, yeah, increased to 7 seconds. So 7 seconds versus 20, and then during that 20 seconds we're definitely going to kill enough mobs to reset this. So it's pretty much a free increase to the duration of that toughness. Stone Gauntlets is really crucial here. This is something that we get for free now with the altar giving us CC immunity. You have to run the Ring of Baroque Grandeur because the Crimson set is crucial to this build. If you do not run Crimsons, you won't survive because Crimsons has synergy with the Relentless passive. It gives us like quadruple toughness when we're low life, which is perfect for this build because with the 4-piece we deal up to triple damage at low health. So we always need to be low health with this build. The way this works is the splitting spear from the 6-piece set allows us to pixel mobs close to you. So passives like No Escape, which would typically be used for boulder toss, have less value here. Similar to Zay's has a little bit less value here, but we're still using it because it's still a really strong gem. So we're going to pull enemies really close to us, that way we proc bloodshed efficiently. I opt to run Warcry because we can keep this buff active without continually casting it. This allows you to get toughness without eating the Reaver procs that we want to funnel into Wrath of Berserker and Call the Ancients. So I have done some testing with the Rage Flip rune. This is really fishy if you want to play this. You're looking for specific mob types that can pixel themselves, and I don't really recommend it for most people. If you want to get really crazy with it and spend a lot of keys, you might have some fun with that. Overall, I'm opting to run the Boon of Volcathus passive because I have Call the Ancients here. That will make sure that after I've done a damage rotation and procced the season theme with about 50 kills on the first pull or more, this is going to reset, and this is going to help that happen. The Berserker Rage is really helpful here. If you're lower Paragon, I would suggest perhaps subbing this or this out for Rampage, because when you kill things, this will give you strength. So it'll give you kind of a balance of damage and toughness, but we're not really fighting a big pile and continuing to fight a big pile. We're just going to do one nuke, move, make it another pull, so Rampage isn't quite as essential here. So my current passives are based on having the most upfront damage without having to stack up Rampage in order to achieve that damage. Okay. So overall, the gems used here, though, for most players, I'd recommend running an Esoteric Alteration instead of the Zay's Stone of Vengeance. That will allow you to stand still and deal damage aggressively and fully capitalize on the Endless Walk set. If you are like me, you're trying to squeeze out as much damage as possible, you may end up running Zays. But I do recommend running Esoteric. This will allow you to play more aggressively, which is really important with this build. So for a gameplay example, you're going to come in, want to fish for kind of an open map here, and that is not one. Okay. This is an open map. So we found enough elites here. Missile Dampener is really bad for this build because it slows down the spears. I'm going to try to pull that elite out of that little section there. We have a few bad affixes that we don't like to see here. We have a Waller, a Missile Dampener, and a Shielder. A lot of things that we don't want. So as you can see, I'm making it pull. And when I stand still, I'm going to press Call the Ancients and Wrath of Berserker. And when the game lags out, I'm going to go ahead and pause, hop into an Aki, and boom. There we've got the season theme. We've got 127 stacks. I'm going to quickly try to proc the 150 on these guys, and they're gone. So as you can see, we've got 34% progress, and we're about a minute into the rift, and we've got a pylon. So as you can see, I've opted to take off Nemesis bracers here because it causes issues with spawning spinners. So this is basically how this build works. It's a projectile build rather than boulder toss. Boulder toss actually breaks down walls, whereas this build really hates walls. This boulder toss does not count as a projectile, so in this case we are worried about those. Okay. And just going to keep going here. Now the season theme allows us to drop Stricken, which is why this build is good. Otherwise, the boss kill on this build is so bad that I would not recommend this build for most people. So again, game's lagging out. I produced an Aki. Gonna charge into it. Hold Harpoon. There's the Ring of Fire. So as we see, we have 350 stacks, and we want to go to the next floor. Next floor is a keeps, so that means the rift would be over. But let's see if we can find a follow-up map. With 350 stacks, the goal would be to find over 150 mobs and enough progression to spawn. So we're looking at about four or five elite packs. Just want to make sure to be hitting something every few seconds, otherwise you will lose your stacks. That being said, this is the best barbarian build for keeping stacks if you get a Fields of Misery follow-up. So you need to hurry up and charge through. So at this point we're just looking for the next floor. And this would be a floor that we could play. Now we're looking for a good open area, and I need to determine, can I spawn the Rift Guardian on this floor with 150 mobs? This is an example of one that would not be a good floor to play if we were going for a really good time, but I could go ahead and show what a clear looks like here. So just going to make a huge pull, and ideally I kind of bridge everything that I have up here with what I had at the bottom there. So I'm going to stop trying to pull those guys. And this could be a lot of work here, so in an ideal follow-up map, you're looking at like a Fields follow-up where you can pull more efficiently from all directions as opposed to pulling in one direction like this, which is obviously very inefficient. One thing that's great about this build is it has a built-in freeze from the charge with the 4-piece set. Or actually it's the 2-piece set, I believe. No, it's the 4-piece set. It gives us every rune on Furious Charge. Okay, so this is proving to be a lot of work, and hopefully we'll be able to get an angel kill here. So now we're going to pop Wrath Berserker, Call of the Ancients, and we're just going to keep pausing the game until we can get a kill. And we got a kill there. Now, really important here is you want to identify kind of where the elites are in this pull. If you're going for a pull like this, and you know you're going to spawn the angels, you want to identify where the elites are and move through them as the meteors come down. So here come the meteors, and I can see exactly where the elites are here. Here's one of them, and there we go. So we failed to kill enough, but we did spawn the angels, and they died. So if we had killed this last elite here that has shielding, then we would have spawned the angels, and we're at 583 stacks. The only problem is this mob type has the grotesque explosions, which interferes with the angel's survival. The big thing, speaking of angels' survival, they have no resistances to elements. So we want to stack our follower with CC. Now in this case, I opted to not run Nemesis bracers because they spawn spinners 1 out of 5 chance. And if you get a spinner and you throw your spear at the spinner, it will one-shot you and the rift is over basically. So I opted to not run that. It's a little overkill to run the Butcher's Sickle in order to proc Strong Arm. You can see that I have secondary knockback, but also this chance to drag enemies to you also procs Strong Arm. The suggestion that I have for most people is to run Azure Wrath. That's a legendary sword. Let's see if I can find one in the stash here. There's an Azure Wrath. It has a up to 25% chance to freeze on hit. That's going to help immobilize the boss and keep them from attacking the angels. Also the blind on hit, I could get a better one. This rolls up to 40% blind on hit as a secondary, and then the Court of the Sherm also has a blind effect. So anything that CCs the boss works very effectively with the Enchantress because she attacks very fast. That being said, if you were to stack attack speed on your rings, your weapon, your gloves, and the canes two-piece set by using the boots, ideally, that would help her proc those effects a little bit more efficiently. As I was saying before, the 4-piece of the Raekor set gives you every rune of charge. 1 rune of charge is Cold Rush, which freezes enemies for 2.5 seconds. That by itself is a very effective way of stopping the boss from attacking and killing the angels. 2 bosses that work really well with this are Prendy and Bloodmaw because their attacks are primarily physical, meaning the angels can actually survive them because they have high physical resistance, but they have no elemental resistance. So any attack that is not physical will kill them instantly. You want to definitely try to interrupt attacks that are omnidirectional, like a Nova attack, like Cold Snap has a Frost Nova, Arathon has a Poison Nova. Those kind of attacks will kill every single angel in 1 hit. Overall, I hope this guide helps you guys. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. Have fun with this build. It's really fun. If you want to play this for the first time, I do strongly recommend you run this with Esoteric Alteration. This is going to really help you just be able to play the build effectively. And that's about it for now. I'm going to try to upload more videos of actual clears and PBs. I'm working on getting like a better sub 3 time, and eventually I'll be going for a sub 2 time. Currently, I'm looking at the wrong season here. Currently, this is the #1 solo clear in the world aside from China. So out of the primary regions that are available on Maxroll, this is the currently the fastest clear in the world of all classes. So I highly recommend trying it out. Something worth mentioning is there's people right now with over 5,000 Paragon, and this was done under 3,000 Paragon. So if that doesn't give you an idea of how powerful this build is, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I created this build in season 28. It's been kind of a quote-unquote fun alternative option up until now, and I'm kind of excited to see this build shine on the leaderboards, and hopefully this video helps make that happen. So you guys have fun, and again, feel free to ask any questions you have pertaining to this build. Otherwise, if you have questions about the season theme, you know, you may be better off asking questions to people that are actively streaming. I can do my best to answer those questions, but this is my first time playing with the Pandemonium season theme, and a lot of the other guys streaming Diablo 3 currently have more experience with the season theme than I do. So I'll try to do what I can to help you guys, and talk to you soon.